Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of y'all do not like to talk politics in your games, but unfortunately, we've reached a point where you cannot even avoid it. Last year, the Trump administration bullied China into selling TikTok to the United States. And now if you get on that app, that shit is being censored like a motherfucker. There are certain words that you can't say. An example being free something. Well, they're back at it again, allegedly. The Trump administration reportedly is considering pulling Tencent's gaming investments and potentially hurting Epic and Riot. Yo, shout out to Jonathan with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. It's no secret that Tencent has stakes in, well, pretty much everything. It outright owns League of Legends and Valorant developers Riot, alongside other giants like Dune Awakenings, FunCam, Path of Exiles, grinding gear games. It also has a share in some of the biggest companies out there, including Techland, Ubisoft, Remedy, Paradox, and even From Software. It also has it's also a minority shareholder for Epic Games. It owns almost 30%, and it is apparently invested in Discord and Roblox. I mean, I really mean it when I say Tencent is everywhere. But that may be set to change, as according to a new report, the Trump administration is considering whether or not to let the Chinese behemoth be allowed to keep its stakes in several of these developers. Headquarters in Shenzhen, China, but trading on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, Tencent's American investments have allegedly come under scrutiny ahead of the U.S. President Donald Trump's upcoming meeting with China's Xi Jinping. Initially reported by the Financial Times, then followed up by Reuters, Tencent's involvement with major gaming firms has supposedly been deemed a potential national security risk. Anything from China is a national security risk, apparently. The Financial Times claims that a potential meeting to discuss the issue was set for Tuesday, March 3rd, but was postponed due to scheduling issues. Translation: the war in Iran. Several cabinet officials were supposedly primed to attend. The move comes amid rising tensions between the two countries. The U.S. has threatened to ban video sharing service TikTok several times due to concerns over Chinese ownership, for example, but the two countries eventually reached an agreement that sees TikTok's U.S. operations overtaken by tech firm Oracle. The deal closed on Thursday, January 22nd. China has since condemned the U.S. and Israel's military action in Iran, however, calling for a ceasefire. Several Tencent-backed or owned companies have made headlines of late. At the tail end of January, Ubisoft axed 6 projects, including the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake, and delayed even several more. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney has also taken several shots at the rival storefront Steam and developer Valve, while openly supporting the controversial use of AI in game development. All right, so why does this story matter? Tencent's a big investor. They got a big wallet. They're giving out money to a lot of these gaming companies. And if for some reason the Trump administration is able to bully them out of their investments, yeah, this motherfucker's a risk. It's crazy that he's calling these companies a risk. His fat ass is a risk. Y'all seen that nasty ass rash on his thick ass neck? Anyways, that shit is a risk. That shit like the clicker virus, nigga. Yeah. Anyways, this could be problematic because this could mean people could lose their jobs, which also means you could see the slowdown of updates of some of your favorite games. Because like an example being, they own 28% of Epic. That's a big sharehold. I think Epic overall would be fine because they own Fortnite, which is a humongous platform, as well as the Epic Game Store. But losing almost 30% of your revenue that helps support your employees could end up fucking over some people, and they might have to tighten their belt. You do this with all these. We know Ubisoft needs money. They're fucking poor. The only thing I know Remedy is working on is Control 2. Techland, the only thing they have is that damn zombie game. The only reason I'm bringing this up is you can see people lose their jobs. And if people lose their jobs, that means there's going to be a slowdown in content. There's going to be a slowdown in the economy, because friendly reminder, if people are not spending, that's not helping the GDP. It's just bad overall. And for them, I wish they would have some type of evidence to say why they think that this is a security risk, because this feels nothing like more than just fucking xenophobia, guys. Oh, it's Chinese. We can't trust it. And if that's the argument, you guys need to get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, no job equals no spending, and that's why that's bad, especially if you want to work in the gaming industry. But also, another reason why it's bad that a whole bunch of people could potentially lose their jobs, it means those same people are now being re-entered into the job market that we just lost 92,000 last month alone, and you're now all fighting for the same jobs, right? These people that worked at Epic, that worked at Riot, that worked at Ubisoft and Remedy, they're now re-entering the job market, and they could potentially be fighting for that same job you're fighting for at Denny's, which means somebody's not going to get a fucking job, bro. So I hope we understand this. It's a story to pay attention to, because like, don't you niggas got something better to do? Like, I don't get it, man. Yo, shout out to Jiggle Them Balls with the gifted subs, bro. I appreciate you. This would further destabilize the U.S. economy. People would be more reluctant to invest in American companies because the government might take it. Yeah, an example being not just this gaming stuff, but you remember last year, well, Hyundai, I believe it's a Korean company, correct? They had a plant out in Georgia, and ICE raided the plant and deported all of them because they thought that they were illegals. And it turns out that those people were there to train the Americans on how to build cars. Now Korea don't really want to fuck with us like that. Yeah, it destabilizes the fucking economy. These people are trying to bring jobs over here and shit. Like, it's the same shit. This is the gaming version of it. Shit is fucking stupid. I'm over it, man. I'm fucking over it. Yeah, that was near my old college too. This shit is sad, bro. Shout out to JFE with the $50 super chat. Whoa. Speaking of jobs, clout me up. I'm getting a new job. Yeah, you proving it too. We appreciate the super chat. Shout out to you for getting a new job. And those Korean workers have not returned. The plant lost its talent and brain drain in the area. Now it's just a building sitting there, shit, bro. Yeah, now it's just a building sitting there. So this is a story. This is the early developments of it. We don't know what exactly is going to happen. It could just be a situation where, because remember, like a couple months ago, Trump wanted to invade Greenland, and all of a sudden, you know, his dementia kicked in and he forgot he wanted to invade Greenland. It could be a situation where right now he wants to fuck with these companies, but then his dementia kicks in. That rash, that fat ass rash, spreads all over his body, and he forgets because he has other stuff to do. But we'll be keeping an eye on this story because this is fucking annoying. You got the story about Activision wanting COD developers to make a game where Iran attacks Israel. I saw that. I did not save it, though. COD devs, Iran. Let me see if we can find it. More politics. Call of Duty co-founder claims Activision put very awkward pressure on Infinity Ward to make a game about Iran invading Israel. Interesting. By the way, I've never been suicidal. Chance Glasgow, one of the co-founders of Infinity Ward and creators of Call of Duty, has claimed that Activision once pressured the studio to include an invasion of Israel by Iran. This came after Call of Duty gameplay footage was used in a video released by the White House, which is crazy, showing a character calling in a kill streak before a montage of real-world military bombing footage from the current war that's going on, if you haven't seen it. I'm not playing that shit. Explosions shown in the video are presented alongside 100+ point indicators echoing kills using kill streaks in Call of Duty. In response to this video, Glasgow wrote to his personal social media account, "This doesn't surprise me. I remember after Activision took over post-Respawn Formation that there was a very awkward pressure from Activision for us to make the next Call of Duty game about Iran attacking Israel. Luckily, the vast majority of our devs were disgusted by the idea and it got shut down." He would further elaborate on this in a response to his social media reactions to the same White House video. In one tweet, he says, "A lot of devs were appalled because it felt like political propaganda being pushed by Activision." And I'm glad that he said that because that's literally what I was about to say. It's political propaganda. Foreshadowing. Yeah, foreshadowing, bruh. So keep in mind when you're playing these games, some of these games are trying to program you to think a certain type of way, and you should never fall for that shit. Just play the game and have fun and keep it moving, bruh. Another Mossad psyop, allegedly. You said it, I didn't, bruh. Get this? So not only did we have, just to bring it back full circle with Call of Duty, not only did we have Epstein being responsible, or at least partially responsible, for microtransactions and loot crates being in these video games like Call of Duty, but now you also have them former devs saying that they were trying to push certain ideologies with Iran and Israel, certain types of conflicts that are going on right now in the real world. Shit's weird. Shit's fucking weird. Military propaganda is real. Is real. Don't fall for it. You got to learn to read between the lines, man. Yeah, they want to control all the fucking media, man. What else we got for you? Oh, and more positive news. Nintendo's suing the US government over the tariffs. Let's go, man. Nintendo of America suing the United States government over the sweeping tariffs your president put in place last year, according to a complaint filed Friday in the U.S. Court of International Trade and obtained by Aftermath. Tariff the world, tariff the world. Nobody wants to listen to me, tariff the world. Okay. Though the Supreme Court has stifled the tariffs for the time being, the situation remains in flux for companies manufacturing goods outside the U.S. and sent stateside. The Supreme Court struck down the tariffs on February 20th, but Trump vowed to impose new 15% tariffs on many global imports under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974. You guys, eggs any cheaper? 24 states are suing over the new tariffs. As of Thursday, more than 1,000 companies have also sued the U.S. government for what they say is the illegal implementation of these tariffs. These companies include Costco and FedEx. If you're not following, basically what happened was he implemented a global tariff as the president, and you don't have that executive power to do that. It was a 10% global tariff on every product coming in. The Supreme Court said the president doesn't have the power to do that. That needs to be voted on by the Congress. And since he's bypassing the Congress, they shut it down. But he found a workaround. So he found a workaround where the president is allowed to implement tariffs for 150 days until a vote is cast by Congress to make it permanent or not. And what is he doing for those next 150 days? He said, fuck the 10% tariffs. For the next 150, let's make it 15. Once again, are your eggs cheaper? Is your PlayStation cheaper? Let me know. Nintendo of America's lawsuit is largely targeting refunds of the previously imposed tariffs that the Supreme Court struck down. The Supreme Court found that Trump could not invoke the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 to put the tariffs in place. Nintendo of America's lawyers list the U.S. Department of Treasury and the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bassett, U.S. Department of Homeland Security and former Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, who just got fucking fired. You do a good Donald Trump impression, unfortunately. Tariff it all. I'm not in the Epstein files. You guys are still talking about that? Office of the United States Trade Representative and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so if you're not following this, Trump is sweating because since the Supreme Court struck down his 10% global tariff, they're now making the argument that he might have to pay back corporations that had to pay all these tariffs. Because friendly reminder, the corporation pays the tariff and then it passed the cost on to us. So basically, Nintendo lost a lot of money when they exported their Switch 2 consoles to America. And because it's coming from Japan, they had to pay that 10% tariff on everything, which made them have to, they lost profits, basically. So basically, Nintendo is saying, because we lost profits on every sale on the Switch 2, bitch, pay what you owe. And you know, normally, I don't really root for the Nintendo Yakuza, but bitch, pay what you owe. Let's see. The U.S. Court of International Trade has jurisdiction over several issues relating to the customs and international trade in the country. That's where all these lawsuits are being litigated, and where Customs and Border Protection told a judge that it collected $166 billion in tariffs as of Wednesday. On Wednesday, Judge Richard Eaton ruled that companies are entitled to refunds, but on Friday, Customs and Border Protection said in a filing it can't currently comply with the order to refund tariffs. A system could be operational in 45 days. Translation: they collected almost $200 billion from various corporations across the world in tariffs, but they don't know where the money is. They said, whoa. We can give Nintendo their money back, but could you give us 45 days to scratch up the money? So I feel like motherfuckers is not mad enough, bruh. They're fucking everybody out. And don't be surprised, because Nintendo's just the first one to file a lawsuit. Don't be surprised if Walmart, Target, Sony, whoever, any major corporation, don't be surprised if them lawsuits is coming. Pay what you owe. Yeah. And then the question is, if you don't have the $166 billion in tariffs that you collected over the last 365 days, where the fuck is the money? Where did it go? What did you spend it on? That needs to be investigated. People are not mad enough, because friendly reminder, the entire purpose of tariffs, for those unaware, is to encourage bringing manufacturing back to the United States. He stockpiled all this money up, but I don't see you building any manufacturing plants here. So where'd the money go? Did someone say the new ballroom? I'm telling you, the stories we're gonna tell our grandkids 30, 40 years from now is gonna be fucking funny, dude. This shit is actually like, so I can't believe what I'm fucking reading. And I feel like I'm crazy because I'm like, yo, am I getting older? Because I be feeling like, yo, we're not mad enough. The US government is robbing you. And I'm not suicidal, by the way. Building that ballroom. This nigga's a bitch ass nigga, bro. Hey, we got money for missiles though, although they say we running out of those too. So anyways, since February 1st, 2025, lawyers write Trump has implemented unlawful executive orders imposing tariffs on imports from a vast swath of countries. The company is asking the court to refund with interest with the tariffs unpaid. They said pay what you owe, and we need 5% back on that shit. Okay, Nintendo. That's what I'm talking about. Damages for stress, nigga. Nintendo of America is standing to sue because it is the importer of record for goods that were subject to the tariffs, the lawyer said. Nintendo manufactures its consoles and accessories overseas, mostly in Vietnam and China. The timing of the tariffs was particularly bad for Nintendo because it was releasing their new platform, the Switch 2, when it was announced. Pre-orders for the Switch 2 in the US will not start. They're just talking about the history and shit. You get the gist of this shit. You actually can't make this shit up. I wish more people would fucking read. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, man. So they just filed for the lawsuit. We gotta see how this one plays out. But I am rooting for Nintendo. I'm hoping people jump in. More corporations jump in and jump this nigga, bruh. Beat his ass. Beat his fucking ass, man. That's what I'm talking about. Because I tell you this much. Friendly reminder. Even if they spent that $166 billion in tariffs money that they collected, if we don't know where it is, what I do know is your president of the United States made $3 billion since entering the presidency a year ago off that fucking crypto scam. That nigga has the money. Pay what you fucking owe. We gonna need that crypto money, nigga. I've never been suicidal. Half the problem is he just ignores the rules because he's a fucking moron. Oh, and this is just talking about how a lot of people are going to use their job. So just in Saudi Arabia, the United Arabians and Kuwait and Qatar are discussing withdrawing from contracts with the U.S. and canceling future investment commitments in the U.S. to alleviate some of the economic strain imposed upon them by the Iran war. And then the homie Dell, he tweeted out, I'm tempted to explain how this is very, very bad in like 7 different ways, but I'm honestly just going to depress myself and everybody else. RIP to everyone's 401k. The super recession is on the way. I'll explain it. It's kind of what we were just talking about. Tencent is not the only company out of China that's invested in American corporations. A lot of Saudi money is in, at least in the gaming space, and a lot of other sectors. I can only speak on the gaming space. I know the Saudis own Evo. They just bought EA for fucking 55 billion. I think they own parts of Epic and a bunch of other studios. So the point, at least I can't speak on other sectors, but in the gaming sector, because the Saudis own a lot of shit, the PGA too, because they own a lot of shit with this war going on in Iran, they might void these contracts so they can save money, which, say it with me, means a lot of people are going to lose jobs. There's a higher probability that EA will pull the plug on Skate because of this. Niggas voted for this shit. So much winning, right? We're winning, guys. So much winning. So much winning. Which, friendly reminder, if people are losing jobs because they're putting pressure on Tencent, as well as the Saudis are now pulling their money out of firms, this is now hundreds of thousands of people all fighting for that job at IHOP, all fighting for that one job at the law firm, all fighting for that one job at Walmart. Shit's crazy, man. Shit's crazy. You said the crime rate about to go up. I'm not gonna wish that upon nobody, but hey, I will say if you've never been to a shooting range, I mean, you should learn how to shoot, man. Because he's not wrong, bro. The Wolves are gonna be hungry. And less depressing news. Well, actually, this is pretty fucking depressing too. Other news. Arc Raiders has been silently recording your Discord DMs. And you know, before I even read this story, I can't help but feel like if this was High Guard or Marathon, this story would be much bigger. I didn't really see nobody on the timeline talking about this. Spyware the video game. If this was Marathon, because you know it's a fucking, people are hating on that game. Let's read the article. It's bad news, but there is a good update though to it. Computer engineer Timothy Meadows has recently put Embark Studios in hot water after he discovered that Arc Raiders was secretly logging your private Discord messages. Meadow found out once your Discord account was linked to the game, your private messages were being stored locally on your PC, along with full Discord bearer authentication tokens that could potentially allow unauthorized access. If you're not following, if your Discord was connected to Arc Raiders during this time, it was logging everything onto your PC and they had access to your Discord remotely so they could read your DMs. Thankfully, Embark Studios was quick to respond as the developers shared an update, ironically on Discord regarding the matter. It was claimed that its Discord's SDK logged excessive user information, though they failed to mention how that was managed. I gotta call cap on that. Because my question then becomes, would this update ever came? Would you guys have ever found this? I don't know, man. Especially because they got AI all in the video game. I don't know, man. A hot fix has since been rolled out for Arc Raiders, which prevents this from happening again. The community was assured that their personal data was not sent outside of their machines, and Embark did not review or keep such information. So if you have any nasty Discord messages, any nasty nigga Discord messages, sending booty pictures and shit like that and dick pics, first of all, I don't know why you're doing that on Discord. But if you do, they might have it. They might have it. The good news, like I said, to be 100% fair, they did patch this out, but I can't help but feel like if a hacker didn't find this shit, this would have never been found. And my thing is, there's no way to know that they're acting in good faith, because for all we know, they could have been looking at your messages. They gonna know I'm a furry? Oh no. But the good news is they patched it, so I don't want to spread no information. We don't know. All hearsay. Dick pics from Discord is wild. Hey, a lot of people live their lives on Discord. I don't know why, but they do. A lot of times when I don't know if y'all notice, a lot of times when content creators get exposed, it comes from their Discord messages. And it always reminds me, I'm like, damn, y'all really be on Discord like using this shit like it's text message. I do not be. I get on Discord to play the game. I don't talk to people on Discord like that. That shit is not encrypted. What's the point of even linking your Discord to games? Sometimes you get like custom skins and shit like that, drops and stuff. Oh really? Yeah, it always be the Discord message screenshots being exposed. Marvel Rivals released a statement to the public. For those who weren't following the story, I covered this on last stream. There's a website where you can go to pay people to throw games. So like, let's say you meet somebody in Marvel Rivals or Valorant that pissed you off. You can go onto this website, pay somebody, they'll enter that person's game and then make them lose. Marvel Rivals basically put out a statement saying, we don't fuck with that shit. Shut that shit down. That shit lame as hell. And I agree. That shit is lame. Guys, video games are supposed to be for fun. If at any point you feel the need to pay somebody to go throw your ops match, you need to find a new hobby. Shout out to Marvel Rivals coming out and condemning that, bruh. Shut that shit down, bruh. It's not that serious, especially because esports is not a stable economy. You guys can't make any money off of this shit. You guys are poor. Poor and angry. We got real issues. My thing is like, where's the anger for this with the whole embezzlement thing I was just talking about with the government? All the pressure, them having to pay back people off these tariffs. Where's the anger for that? Shit is crazy. Be mad over a fucking video game. 2 people got shot in Minnesota. Niggas sleeping well. That shit don't make no sense to me, man. What about my CSGO skins? I don't know. And too little too late news. No squad, no backup. You're on your own. You can try out Battle Royale solos in Red Sec from March 6th to the 9th. It's a temp event. They'll probably put it in there permanently if you guys like it. But you can play solos in Battle Royale for Battlefield 6, which is their free-to-play mode, which, I don't personally care, but I'm not going to be mad for more content. Yeah, where them files at? Yo, we close to 1,000. We had 968 viewers on fucking YouTube. Hit the like button if you haven't already on YouTube. Hit the like button. What else I got for you? Oh, hallelujah. Bungie's confirmed that Marathon's battle pass doesn't expire. You can purchase old ones and you never pay for power. So it's kind of like Marvel Rivals. If you buy the content, you can unlock the content at your own pace. You don't have to worry about the content being exclusive around the time period. And you can also buy it at any time you want. So when the new battle pass comes out, if you want the old one and you didn't get it, you can get it. That's pretty self-explanatory. To me, that's pro-consumer. That's a W. Shout out to the Minish Cat Mafia going with the $5 super chat. My bad, I missed it. I appreciate you. What game we running tonight? Neo, probably. I did buy Marathon, but I might stream tomorrow depending on how I feel, because I need to get more time on Marathon. But I'm really trying to work my way through fucking Neo, man. Do you think Bungie can redeem themselves with Marathon? Yeah. Will they? I don't know. Because I will say the people who are playing Marathon, they seem to really enjoy it. It's just getting like Twitter bashed for some reason. Marathon, Steam. I think it has overwhelmingly positive reviews. Yeah, it has very positive reviews. People who are playing this game, they like it. It's the niggas on Twitter running their fucking mouth and pushing agendas, man. I think it's pretty good. I just hopped off. Yeah, all my friends are playing it. They all like it. They say the more you play it, the more you'll like it. You just have to learn it because the game it's deeper than Arc Raiders. But people are trying to play it like it's Arc Raiders. So I ended up buying it. I spent my 40 bones on it. But Steam DB says the $40 price point, avoid the review bombs on Twitter. Nah, that's facts. That's actually a good point. If this game was free to play, it might have got review bombed by Twitter and like Metacritic. The fact that you had to pay for it, that's why I think it does have good reviews. That's a good point. And the fact that, people actually like the game. I see people upset about the reset every 3 months, but Tarkov's doing the same thing. Yeah, that's how every extraction shooter works. It's so you can experience the new stuff. You heard unemployment rose to 4.4%. Yeah, you like that? We're winning, man. We're winning. You don't understand the Steam chart? The Steam charts, man. The Steam charts. Steam DB shouldn't dictate your enjoyment. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But people don't understand that. They equate numbers to art, and I don't get that. And PS4 nigga news. Marathon Land surprised PS4 and Xbox One age rating ahead of launch, but should last-gen players really get their hopes up? Marathon launches today on the 5th, which was yesterday, and following a successful server slam test last weekend and the reveal of promising post-launch plans, developer Bungie seems to have finally built some positive sentiment. Only players on current-gen consoles or PC are able to join the fun, though, at least for now. Claus Awesome Gamer learned that the ESRB rating page for Bungie's latest is including mentions of the PS4 and Xbox One versions, which haven't been announced at the time of the writing. The site states that Marathon is rated T for teen by ESRB with animated blood, language, and violence. This isn't a shocker as the game generally involves a lot of shooting and stabbing. Here's the screenshot. Yeah, so it was rated. ESRB is the company that rates games and gives it the E, the M, the T, whatever. It was rated for the PS4 and the Xbox One. This doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but what I will say is don't be surprised if later they do launch it. And to be fair, as much as it pains me to say, I do think that Marathon could run on the PS4 and the Xbox One. It's not the most graphically intensive game. Marathon has good art direction, but like texture-wise, it's not pushing any boundaries. So if they scale back the textures and the resolution, I think it could run on the PS4. It'll just be mad blurry. It'll be mad. Is the Dow still 50? That shit is fucking funny. And run at 30 frames. TBHA inspiration. Is there any streamer that inspired you? Yo, shout out to Chris with the $5 super chat. Is there any streamer that I'm inspired by? Nah, not really. There's like streamers that I'll be like, oh, it's cool what they're doing, but it doesn't inspire me because like I don't want to be like them, if that makes sense. But like I can recognize there's people doing really cool shit in the space. They don't care as long as it's on the PS4. Yeah, they don't care. So if you have any hopes and dreams, maybe 6 months from now you might get PS4, the edition. Damn, lead never follow. Type shit. He said, nah, he is the inspiration. I'm trying to be. What made you want to be a content creator? I thought I could do it better than everybody else. I don't even like answering that question because it comes across as mad arrogant, but that's the truthful answer. You gotta keep in mind, I've been around for a really long time. When I was around, it was like Woody's Gamertag, Wings of Redemption, those types of people that were popping in the COD space, and I felt like I could do it better than them, so I did it. Because keep in mind, to be successful is not about innovating. Sometimes you could just, elevate what's already there. I mean, here I am 18 years later, so it worked. High Guard director confirms the game released without content as they were running out of time and money. So the game's going to shut down on March 12th. Just baffling me, they released the game in such a skeleton state and decided now is the time to add account levels and introduce some sort of skill tree system. It's crazy the parallels between the game failing and seeing Marathon come back after some tests. When you're out of time and money, you have to release a game with the runway you're available and hope players will stick with the post-launch. Damn, they were poor, bro. You don't reinvent the wheel, you improve it type shit. You got to run faster. You got to run faster. Tight. Have you seen the statement that they sent to reviewers about checking first the end game before giving their thoughts for a Marathon? Yeah, because I mean, it's a live service game. I get it. It's a live service game with a lot of content, and that's probably where the best content is. Because friendly reminder, a lot of y'all didn't like Destiny until The Taken King came out. So I understand where they're coming from. They're basically saying it's a game you really need to entrench yourself in and learn the mechanics. They're allowed to say that. Does that mean you have to follow the rules? No, but they're probably trying to give you a guideline if you want the optimal experience. You also matured with time, unlike motherfuckers. Yeah, I guess. You don't know how they are behind the scenes. They might just act because to be fair, a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers, they're characters. I'm not a character. I am who I am. Like when people meet me in real life, be like, you act the same way. I'm like, yeah, I be chilling, bro. So like they might have matured behind the scenes, but on camera, it doesn't seem like it, to be fair to them. You just had to decide if that's for you or not. Loving Marathon, about to hit level 25. How long did it take you to get to level 25? And then last but not least, there's a new football game coming out. 7-on-7 exhibition gameplay. It's a high school football game. Here you go.
School in Texas Friday night.
Turn that shit down. You guys want to play some high school football? They got motion capture. Shout out to Arsenal. What up, bro? 7v7 playtest. They doing a play. Hey, this is for the Madden motherfuckers, bro. Y'all looking for new football games? This came across my For You page. If you want to play test it and give feedback, there's something there. Sometimes it's hard to separate the person from the content creator for some people. Yeah, that's a them issue. Because I mean, I suffer from that too. Playtest is from March 20th to 25th. If you wanted to playtest it and give feedback. Long stream, what's the occasion? I gotta be up early in the morning tomorrow. So started early. Plus I didn't work out today. I'm running a 5K tomorrow, so I didn't want to work out today to give my body rest so that, like, you know, I can run tomorrow and feel good. Give my knees a break. My old ass knees. Oh shit, high school football game. The jocks who peak will love this shit. Man, can I get my football highlight tape in that bitch?